This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
And we lost Kevin. What the heck?
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties galore today.
Are you a ghost?
I guess so. I'm John Cena. You can't see me.
Right, just right here.
That's not good. Nick has disappeared too.
Ooh.
Ghostly start to the Voice of the Land.
It is.
We're going radio style.
Yeah,
Here
we
we
are.
go.
Well,
I mean, that's how we started. We're right back to it. Full
No doubt,
circle.
we are back at OMS.
hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get this rectified real quick here. We got nothing. We have audio.
There we go.
Okay.
we have audio.
We got audio.
Yeah.
But I don't know why we don't have video. So
Where's that coming from?
That was coming from me.
Oh, okay. Just all right. Let's just roll through this one. It is a ghostly, inauspicious start to the Voice of the Land this week, as you don't get our faces, you just get the audio.
Not yet. Hopefully.
well, I don't think we're gonna get video without a full reboot. I don't know what happened because we had everything working.
You want to reboot it?
We can definitely
Well,
reboot it.
it's gonna stop all the stream and everything. So
All right, well, can we reboot the stream?
we can try.
Let's give it a shot.
Anybody on the stream, check back in 2 minutes. We're gonna do.
Don't you worry. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
When
Maybe.
you question it, shut it down and turn it back on.
This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Am I here? Am I visible? Oh my goodness. What a ghostly start to the Voice of the Land today. Is this thing on? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I believe we are on.
Oh, Paulus, you're here too?
Hey,
Peter? Peter, are you here?
I'm here.
Oh, there's that voice. There's that voice. There's that voice. Welcome to another edition of the Voice of the Land here on the Big Play Network, and of course, partnered with LPV Productions. We do apologize for the technical difficulties to start the show, but you adapt and adjust in this industry, and you know what? We're showing our professionalism. So anybody looking for people to join your crew out there in the industry, look no further than the tape we just had just a little bit ago. We do have a big show loaded for you here tonight, of course, on the Big Play Network. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, my brother, Nick Paulus, and our producer extraordinaire, who we cannot do anything without. And
ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
It's questionable if we can do things too sometimes.
Yeah, that is the big question today. Can we actually do things? But I think we're live. We're live and ready to roll here this evening. Of course, Peter Tillip behind the 1s and 2 tonight. Of course, we are brought to you by and sponsored by Vector Technical, the right person, the right job, the first time, and DP Construction LLC. Reach out to them for all your concrete construction needs. You can reach out to our buddy, Tyler LaFrada, directly, tylerlafrada@gmail.com, or by phone to get a quote, 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. And of course, throughout the week, you can find us all across the social Voice of the Land on Facebook, Big Play on Facebook, as I'm getting the looks out of the corner of my eye, but I'm going to keep this rolling right now as long as we can for the Voice of the Land here. And
should
Peter,
be all good.
Peter, give me the thumbs up.
Good.
Of course,
about to give a finger, a different finger.
I was thinking about it there.
I mean, I deserve it sometimes.
Oh,
so yeah.
not to
not
you.
to
I
you,
know,
not to you, not to
I
you.
know, but I mean, if you got to do it at somebody.
Well, right now is at Zoom, so
Well,
trying to get everything ready for our special guest later.
Yes, we do have a special guest, of course. I am rocking the Cleveland Crunch shirt tonight for a reason, because we will be joined later on in the program by Crunch goalkeeper Mario Musa, or the Bosnian blocker, Croatian sensation, as he is known around the program. Later this evening, he will join us to talk about the Crunch's quest for their 4th professional indoor soccer championship next weekend out in Wichita, Kansas, July 17th and 18th. They are in the playoffs, one of the top 4 teams in Major Arena Soccer League 2. So wishing them all the best. We'll get all the latest on them and learn more about the Bosnian blocker later on this evening, as Mario Musa will join us. We do have to get to some Browns talk. There are people that may need a VTL reality check here tonight. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Things may get a little heated, not at each other, but at certain people that just can't keep their mouth shut. And we'll also talk about, UFC was last night and the Browns were out there. That's one of those big sporting events that now we are so happy are back. And a lot of people, it's a hot ticket. What sporting event would you want to go to, and what professional athlete or even celebrity would you want to be sitting next to at said sporting event? We'll talk about that all later on, but we got to get things started with the Cleveland Indians, as we have hit the MLB All-Star break with the Indians sitting at 45-42, second place in the Central Division in the American League, 8 games back behind the White Sox, of course, suffering that 9-game losing streak, the worst in the Terry Francona era, but getting the 3-game sweep thanks to Mother Nature against the Kansas City Royals. And we'll start right there and kind of look back at this first half of the season, as we did kind of pose the question out there this past week, as we came off of a best of show, a clip show, as they say in the business, talking about that 9-game losing streak, or the losing streak that they were in at that time, and who was the most to blame. It's been a roller coaster, and we've talked about this as a show this entire time. Who are the Indians? Who are they really? Paulus, I ask you, is there someone that you were blaming more for that losing streak? And are they more of the losing streak team or the team that, was able to get that 3-game sweep against the Royals and have some momentum going into the All-Star break?
So I think that the Indians at the beginning of the year, I said that they were probably going to be about 2 or 3 games below 500. That's kind of, I thought they exceeded expectations for the first 95% of the first half. The last 5%, aside from their 3-game win streak against the Royals, let's be honest, it's the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, that was expected there for us, but that was coming off of the 9-game losing streak. That 9-game losing streak really did a number on my confidence with the Indians. Now, that's not to say that they're a terrible team or that you should start trading everybody. I'm not that guy right now. In years past, you and I have talked about this. I was one of the, maybe not the first people to say trade Lindor, but I was up there. I was like, you know what? You need to get as much as possible for him because he's not going to resign. Guess what happened? Bada bing, bada boom, that happened.
Right.
That being said, I don't think you should be trading Jose. You shouldn't be looking to deal, Shane Bieber or Savale or anyone like that. It shouldn't be happening there for us. So let's just pump the brakes on that. I think that this is a very good, young, scrappy team that has a lot of potential, but I don't know.
Cool. You all right? Yeah. It is a young team with a lot of potential. And I mean, thanks for that, Mac Robinson, by the way. We do want to thank Mac for coming in to fill in for Paulus on our last live show, of course. And
good call.
We talked about this. Mac and I talked about this too. I mean, a young team with guys kind of coming up here, but being put in a big spot with all of the injuries that this team has gone through.
Right.
There's a lot of young players, Bobby Bradley, of course, you got Oscar Mercado, even Bradley Zimmer, a guy that we thought would be on this roster coming out of spring training, but was not able to make the squad at a position that was the biggest question mark as it was. So and I think we talked about this as well. If you weren't able to make this team at the biggest question mark position that the team had coming into the season, you really had to do a lot of self-reflection. This team has a lot of self-reflection to do, and there's a lot of young guys that just need to get back to what they love to do, and that is playing baseball. There's a reason why they have continued to pursue this throughout their life. They are good at it, but they grew a love for this game at a young age, as many young athletes do that end up making it to the pros.
Right.
It doesn't just start and click all of a sudden. Those are rare cases where you hear of, some sort of player that may have picked up football or volleyball just in high school, and they just had this natural it factor and are able to play the sport. And that's where their love starts later on in life. It starts for everybody else. And for the most part, everybody starts at that really young age. And while there are young players in the major leagues, they have played baseball for a long time. So yes, the lights are brighter, but the sport is still the same. I'm hoping this team is a little bit more like the team that finished the first half plus of the season and not the team that was on that 9-game losing streak. I fear that they are more like that 9-game losing streak team, though, until they get their pitchers back. That's the biggest spot, because you couldn't trust anybody to go out there and kind of hold teams at bay.
Right.
You were only going to get 3 or 4 innings out of them because you have some of these younger guys, JC Mejia, Eli Morgan, on pitch counts as it is, and they're using those up in the first couple of innings, and they're giving up an average of 7 to 9 runs a game. It is good to see.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. It's so good to see Plesac back, and hopefully, I know he'll get another rehab start in the midst of this break so that he can come out of the break back in this rotation. You need someone to be a tone setter.
No doubt.
You don't have that guy at the top of the rotation to be a tone setter. You had 3 to start the year. You have hopefully one that can now stay healthy and is getting back to who we know him to be in Zach Plesac. But Savali, definitely a few weeks out. Bieber, a few weeks out. Some point, they're going to have to stem the tide. If they're going to have any chance at all, they're going to have to stem the tide. My fear is, while they may be the team that won those 3 games at the end of the year,
Yeah,
they're going to be the team that only beats up on the bad teams, gets in the playoffs, and then gets routed by the other good teams that you're seeing take advantage of them.
but we have to be honest about this team. This isn't a World Series contending team.
Right.
Okay, so we see that.
Right. But if you get in, you have a chance.
Sure.
And if
Just
you have
like-
the pitching, you can do something special. I'm not saying that they are a World Series caliber team now,
Right.
but crazier things have happened.
Sure.
If they believe that in their clubhouse, and Terry Francona is not going to let them believe, much less,
Right.
they're going to need to somehow find a way. I don't think that if the injuries continue and you can't get these guys back anytime soon, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that they will be a below 500 team. However, if there can be a tone center at the top of that rotation and they stop trying to be the home run hitting, swing for the fences group and just play baseball, maybe get back to the little things. If you can get back to the little things, confidence breeds back into that clubhouse, and then goals and aspirations can become bigger and brighter for them as a group. And that's what Terry Francona is always going to preach.
And he can preach that all he wants, but this is the new modern MLB. Like people swing for the fences. No one does small ball anymore. No one steals the bases. No one hits.
So do something different.
Sack flies anymore. I get what you're saying. And like, if you want to revert to that, try and zig while everyone's zagging. I get that. But these guys are conditioned nowadays to go for that long ball. For Bobby Bradley to be a 225 to 240 hitter, but try and get 40 home runs.
Right.
Like that's what Bobby's trying to do. And I can't knock him because that's my dude. Like I've been, voting up or, been hyping up Bobby for a while now, especially coming out of spring training. And he finally got his opportunity and he's been shining. Has he hit a little bit of a rough patch here over the last month or so? Yeah, his batting average went from started off so hot, like 400,
right,
and now it's down to about 225. Once again, that 225 to 240 range, that's kind of what Bobby is. And that's kind of what this whole team is. Right now, we're batting as a team 229. That's 27th in the entire MLB. That is the second worst to Seattle in the AL. So, and Seattle has the worst batting 216. Yikes.
At least they're over the Mendoza line.
That is a
silver
bonus.
linings, people.
Silver linings. There you go, Mariners. But with this team, once again, I do believe that this team just sort of overachieved to start off the year here for us, and they're kind of settling into what we think that they are. They could be better. They've shown that they can be really good, like a top-notch team there for us. But I think we're 7.5 back right now.
Eight
Is
games,
it eight?
Eight full games back. Yes.
So 8 full games back there for us from the White Sox. That's honestly your only chance of getting in, because the wild card, that's done. Like someone's coming, probably 2 teams coming out of the East.
Right.
Therefore, I mean it's a 2-horse race basically. So that's done with. I just think that it's that 8 games to overcome at the All-Star break. That's a tough ask for any team, let alone a team that has been struggling with injuries as much as they have. Now, that's not to say that Bieber can't come out and pitch his Cy Young dominant self, and Plesac and Savale and all those guys can come back and be awesome. That'd be great. I just don't see that happening. Bieber's still a couple weeks away. From even throwing a ball. So, and you can't truly expect him to come back and start pitching, 8 scoreless innings with 13 strikeouts. I'm sorry, folks, that's not going to happen. It's going to, take him a minute to work himself into it. Hopefully by the end of the year, he's showing that he can come back from an injury and he'll be fine, but you're asking a lot.
So outlook, rest of 2021 for this Indians club, is it more about, youthful development and seeing what kind of momentum you can build going into this season and getting some of your top guys that you have control of still and will be on, still with this organization, barring any trade, of course,
Right.
that may happen. But barring any trade, these guys will be on this roster moving forward. What should the Indians' approach be for the rest of 2021? What goals should they be setting?
Well, I don't think that you got to do the, September or August call ups in July. I don't think that needs to be done. Like Nolan Jones, he's going to get an opportunity. It will happen. Just not this quickly. He still needs a little bit of time to develop, apparently. So I don't know. I haven't seen Nolan Jones play since we were doing captain's games.
Yeah.
So that's been a minute. Now, I do think that he is a stud from what everyone's been saying. He's the real deal.
It's that logjam at the infield positions. Now you're trying to get his bat in the lineup and you're moving him all over the field.
Exactly.
His batting average has been for the most part in Columbus has been in the 220s.
Okay.
This year.
So, but to say that's, it's at the 220s. I mean, Bobby was hitting 217 whenever we called him up, and he's been doing really solid here for us. Well, once again, still batting around that 225, but with 8 home runs right now.
Take advantage of an opportunity.
Exactly. And Bobby's taken strong hold of that. I love what we're seeing from Bobby. This offense, aside from another no-hitter here for us, he was a 7-inning no-hitter, so technically doesn't count, but did you get a hit that game? No. You got no hit. Yeah, that's unfortunately what it was. I think that this offense is a boomer bust sort of scenario. And that's just, once again, that's the MLB nowadays. It really is. So it really depends on how the pitching is going to go for you. And right now we're just hurt. I mean, we are, dead in the water hurt with all of these injuries. So that hasn't helped us. But the fact that Tito's above 500 right now with this sort of pitching staff, especially the starting pitching staff, being the way that it is, that's pretty impressive. I got to give Tito that.
Yeah, you always have to. It just,
no doubt.
The Indians somehow find a way to get above 500 under Terry Francona, and that's just the magic that he can bring to any sort of ball club. I mean, I would love to say that, coming out of the second half of the season, let's use this momentum and try to build on it. I want to see a team that, is going to compete.
Yeah.
And that's what a Terry Francona team is going to be. No matter how unknown the front office speaks in the terms that they do, whether they are being told by ownership that we're supposed to be competing or we're supposed to be, rebuilding or at least retooling for a couple years, like mid-market, small market teams do in major leagues, whatever their message is, I don't know. We know what Terry Francona's message is going to be. We know what the approach of the players is going to be. And if we find some diamonds in the rough, some young players that, we can build with and not have to go all the way down to the full rebuild, I think that'll be a win for this team. And to get above 500 and still be in contention for at least the playoffs, that'll be a win. Unfortunately, like I asked you to start the show, unfortunately, I do think in reality, they're more, the way they are constructed right now, they are more like the 9-game losing streak team than the 3-game winning streak or 10-game above 500 team going into that losing streak that we saw before these injuries hit. And that's just bad luck.
Sure.
In itself, but it's where they are, and it's the hole that they have to dig out of if they really want to make a playoff run.
Now, if memory serves me right, you and I were both pretty close on that, 500 record there for the Indians. As of right now, once again, they're 3 games above 500, I believe, there for us. So given that, do you think that they are going to go 500? Or do you think that they're, once again, because you're saying that they're more like that 9-game losing streak than they are the 10 games above 500? Do you think that, is that what you're kind of looking at right now?
Yeah, and yet we saw more of the 9-game losing streak team when they were above 500 miraculously, with all the errors out in the field, offense not hitting, still, still issues on the back end of your rotation with the pitching staff. So there were still so many question marks, and yet they're above 500. So somehow they are finding ways to win enough games to be above 500. I think we're looking at even though the way that they play will be more like the 9-game losing streak, somehow I think they find a way to be 3 or 4 games above 500, but that will not get you in the playoffs this year in the American League.
No, God,
will
no.
not. But with that, we're going to table the Indians conversation because there is a long way to go in the baseball season. Just hit the halfway point. We are going to step aside for a break, and we are going to, due to our technical difficulties, if Mario Musa does join our show, we will kind of change things around. Otherwise, we will come back with Browns conversations, Baker Mayfield being disrespected, as always, in the national media. Who needs to shut up and why? Our own Nick Paulus will tell you all about that, and I'll expand on it a little bit of a different angle for you on that conversation as well. You are tuned in to the Voice of Land here on the Big Play Network. We'll be right back after this short message.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
And welcome back to this ghostly edition of The Voice of Land. If you are just tuning in, of course, we had an inauspicious start to the show, but everything is rolling, and that is a credit to our producer, Peter Tellett, behind the ones and twos. I'm Kevin Arnold, alongside Nick Paulus, and we went to break, of course, talking about the Indians. They've hit their all-star break, and we are expecting to be joined here soon by goalkeeper Mario Musa from the Cleveland Crunch, as they will quest for their 4th championship next weekend in Wichita, Kansas. If he does join in, we will kind of flip things around. Until that happens, though, Paulus, I know we've been talking a little bit about this. We really wanted to have a conversation on the show. One Mike Tannenbaum, the front office insider for ESPN, just is riding that Baker hater train all the way to as much money as he can get from being on the airwaves, and
No doubt,
until training camp starts and they have more things to talk about NFL wise with all 32 teams in action later on this month. It always seems like they can always get the clicks, they can always get the likes, they can always troll everyone talking about one Baker Mayfield, quarterback of our very own Cleveland Browns. Paulus, message to Mike Tannenbaum. Does he need a Voice of the Land reality check here this evening?
wow, bringing back the reality check. No,
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
We're the voice of reason, man. We calling back all the way to the OMS. If we're going to go all the way back to OMS with audio like earlier, might as well go all the way back.
No doubt. No, Mike Tannenbaum, I just don't understand what he's saying. I understand not wanting to pay Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes money. I get that. I also get, paying him Dak Prescott style money be a little questionable as well. I get that, Baker hasn't made a Pro Bowl. He hasn't done that, but he has made the playoffs. He did beat the Steelers in the playoffs. We're not going to go into Baker Mayfield's resume. I don't need to go there. Y'all can go check it out for yourselves. I guarantee you will be impressed.
Okay, so
damn, I was right there.
I know, but that's a good place to stop at, because we're always impressed by Baker Mayfield.
Oh, no doubt.
But why is Mike Tannenbaum not, and why is he wrong? We'll get to that a little bit later in the show, but we do want to welcome on and thank Mario Musa, goalkeeper from the Cleveland Crunch, for joining us this evening. Mario, thank you so much for joining the show. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Do have to start off by asking, before we get into all the crunch stuff, because I know you guys are in deep preparation for your playoffs next weekend in Wichita, do have to just start off the soccer conversation with you. Did you get a chance to watch any of the European Championships or even Copa America? Kind of thoughts on those tournaments if you did, and that European final today between England and Italy?
I did, yeah, and it was exciting to watch. I think just like any final, any big tournament, I think it comes down to the end of the day who's gonna get their tactics right. And even though Italy went down early, they bounced back. They played well. They played consistent. They fought hard and, made some adjustments, and it paid off in the end. But I'm Croatian, so it was unfortunate that my country got knocked out a little early in the tournament, but I think it was an exciting tournament overall. It was definitely one of the more entertaining ones we've seen in the last 10, 15 years, whether it's Euro Cup or World Cup. So it was definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, and a lot of the games going into extra time or even PKs in the knockout stages. And I mean, as a goalkeeper, especially going into PKs, how do you approach that sort of moment? And I'm sure you've had to face those moments in your career, playing goalkeeper as long as you have. How do you approach those moments? And do you think, as a soccer player, PKs are, since it's been done forever, is still the right way to determine the end of a game if still tied after extra time like they did?
I think so, yeah, because to a certain degree, you have to look out for players, physical condition, because at the end of the day, some teams they may be able to play 120 minutes plus 140, 160 minutes, but, you're kind of pushing the limits in terms of players, health wise. So you got to look at that. But I think from a goalkeeper perspective, it's something that you can and can't prepare for really. If watching teams throughout the tournament, you can kind of take notes, what side players typically go to and kind of use that to your advantage. But if you haven't really had the chance to study them, like in the earlier rounds, if you get to the round of 16, you unfortunately have to go straight to penalties and you have no video or footage of the team, previously in their last PK shootout, it's kind of hard. You just got to guess that point. But there's a bit of a strategy to it if you definitely do your homework right.
Absolutely. I mean, and they talked about even with Pickford from England. He's gone through some PKs where he's had all of the notes, or at least a kind of a cheat sheet note on his water bottle in the past too. So knowing where guys like to go, which sides they may tend to go to in certain situations, if they've been in the number 1 spot or number 5 spot and kind of been moved around a little bit, how they like to approach those moments. So definitely well-prepared goalkeepers, as I know you are, and you guys are getting prepared, of course, for the crunch for your playoff berth. Just take us back. How did this journey with the Cleveland Crunch rebirth? And with Lucci and Eric, the heads of the organization, how did this kind of connection come about?
Well, I think it just started with an idea. Everyone was kind of in a pause moment in life, when COVID kind of shut everything down. So I think Eric and Luch, brought up, a great idea. And obviously all the local talent we have here, we were on board immediately with it. So as soon as they reached out to us, we told them it was a no-brainer, just let us know when it's starting and we'll be there for you guys. So all of us have been excited for, just the start of the season alone, let alone, having the chance to compete for a title in our first season. So I think all of us are, excited to go into the next weekend.
And what are those preparations looking like? You guys kind of honing in on the opponent. Have you guys been told who you're playing yet? Because I know that this weekend was going to determine some of the seeding. It looked like Amarillo Bombers were going to be in that 3 seed. But have you guys been told how that will work out? Because I know online on the M2 or MASL2 website, they have yet to post that playoff seeding. For fans out there, have you guys been told how that's all going to work coming up next weekend?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think all of us are actually wondering the same thing. But in terms of, who we'd rather play or anything like that, I don't think, we have a preference. We just want to show up and, and take care of business. All of us have been waiting for, the playoffs to start since the very beginning of the season. We know the group of guys we have together here and, what we can accomplish. So I think all of us have been, extremely excited to get the ball rolling. And now that, playoffs are right around the corner, it's an amazing feeling. And I think, either team we go up against, they're going to bring their best. So, we have to definitely have our shoes laced as well.
Yeah, I know ending the season, 2 losses out there, unfortunately, in Wichita. I know you guys are looking for a little bit more revenge out there at Hartman Arena where these will take place. Mario Musa, goalkeeper for the Cleveland Crunch, is our guest. Now, getting a chance to call a couple of your guys' games this year, getting a chance to see how you guys operate, very high tempo, scoring about 9 to 10 goals a game. And with that high press from your offense, of course, being able to win balls in the offensive third of the field, but you're yourself able to lead the league in save percentage, wins, going 6-0 this year. And of course, goals against average, only allowing 5.5 goals against you. What is your approach? And I know you've played a lot of outdoor. How does that mindset change from outdoor to indoor in such a more fast-paced environment?
Oh, well, I think has a lot to do with composure at the end of the day, having the understanding, going from outdoor, there's games where sometimes I don't even touch the ball because, our team may be, the one on the forefront. But, when you go to an indoor, it really doesn't matter who the better team on paper is, because at the end of the day, there's going to be shots on you left and right. It's just the nature of the game. It's fast paced. The ball tends to stay in more than, it goes out of bounds. But yeah, I think, for myself, it's just a matter of keeping the guys in front of me organized. I play with a group of guys that I have a very good understanding with and trust, and I think they feel the same way towards me. So, we complement each other well. It's just a matter of, making sure we get our tactics right before the game, knowing who we're going up against. And if it's a team that likes to press, we got to break them down early, or, I tend to do, throw it over the back line. So there's multiple ways of kind of exposing other teams. And, I think the guys that we have this year they're a great group of guys that, we all work together in a great manner. And, I'm excited to, hopefully get 2 more wins under our belt.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned those throws over the top, those outlet passes. Basically, if anybody's watching, just an average sports fan, an outlet pass like in basketball, or even drop it in the bucket like a quarterback in the NFL, that was a weapon for you the entire season. Now, I know you guys tried to use that to exploit other teams, but you had a lot of success with that, even scoring on one of those opportunities. Who kind of brought that skill about for you? And if a young goalkeeper up and coming were to ask you how important those little skills like foot skills and even the throws from the goalkeeper position are, what advice would you give to those young up and coming goalkeepers?
I think the first thing I would tell them is just the recognition aspect of it. Understanding, certain moments in the game. I tend to throw a lot over the top, yeah, but at the same time, if it's a close game and, there's no reason for me to rush, I don't try and throw it because, we could quickly get, countered. I turn the ball over and make a bad throw, whatever the case may be. So just a matter of judging the game at that particular time. But I think for, any young keeper out there, is just a matter of recognition, first of all, and then second is having the confidence to do it. Yeah, not only in yourself, but your teammates as well. And just, hoping for the best, because there's moments where it'll work out perfectly for you. And then there's moments where, it might come back to kind of bite you in the rear end. So I think it's a matter of just making a split second decision, in the moment.
Mario Musa, goalkeeper for the Cleveland Crunch, known as the Croatian sensation and Bosnian blocker for the Crunch, joining us now. I mean, those nicknames that you hear all the time, I mean, which one, is there one that you kind of favor over the other? Or, is there something you just kind of just roll with? Or is there even a nickname no one's even calling you right now that you've always liked?
I've heard Croatian sensation for a little bit. I prefer that because, my background is Croatian and that's my nationality. So I've heard, but, I was born in Bosnia and, my whole family's from there. So it doesn't, necessarily matter to me, but, I think they're fun nicknames. I think a lot of the other guys have way cooler nicknames.
Yeah. I mean, and just hearing the PA announcer kind of get you guys hyped up and everything, and with those nicknames, it just kind of starts the atmosphere, but it looks like a family atmosphere. How did you guys build that family-like culture and that closeness so quickly with this organization just starting? A lot of you guys have played in the past together, or is it just that natural fit right from the start?
Yeah, you said it. It's a combination of everything. I think it starts with all of us, if not playing together, we grew up playing against each other, whether it's at a youth level or just local leagues, competitive or non-competitive. All of us at some point have either played with each other or against each other. So, speaking with some of my friends that play for the other teams in the league, I told them, it's a big boost for us because we get to kind of skip that, chemistry phase of an early growing pains as a team, understanding or trying to learn other players' tendencies, where they like the ball, where they don't like the ball, this kind of stuff. So, it's been a huge benefit to us. And that's part of the reason actually why I do tend to throw the ball a lot, because I have, a great relationship with, with Mikey there. Is like we grew up playing for years now. I trust the guy more than anything with the ball. So I just throw it to any chance I get, because I know when he gets it, he's very dangerous. But yeah, I think, in terms of the season itself, having the guys that we have right now, we just gotta, make sure we come prepared, because, those teams are, they're going to give us their best. That's for sure.
And they're going to give you their best. Of course, you guys are going to have your best ready to go. And it's a versatile team. I know we've talked a lot about goalkeeping, but just shine a little light on your teammates a little bit more there. Just talk a little bit more to that versatility, able to kind of pick the pace up when needed, but also slow things down with the confidence individually on the ball and as a team moving it around. A lot of one-touch passes seem to be the focus towards the end of the season as an offense. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. Just depending on where we're at in that, particular game, there's moments where you can take a few touches, put your foot on the ball, settle down, relax, move it around a little bit. But there's some times where you just got to have urgency. There's teams in this league that generally like to press. So there's not much time to roll the ball around and, try and dribble and stuff. So it sometimes works to our advantage because we have guys that in tight spaces can, do some crazy things and make it work. But we also have, a lot of technical players that can play that 1-2 touch style, and it benefits them because, they prefer to play that way. And, having guys like Mikey and Admir and Kevin Blackwood and DJ and Bobby, all these guys that play together, having that understanding first and foremost and, incorporate that 1-2 touch style, it definitely, helps us out a lot.
Now, just to kind of wrap things up for the team, and I do have one question outside of that, and we'll get you out of here in just a couple moments here, and we appreciate your time. Mario Musa joining us here from the Cleveland Crunch, goalkeeper for the Crunch, getting set for their playoff action, their quest for their 4th title out in Wichita, Kansas next weekend, bringing that 4th title home. And by all means, you don't have to answer this question because I know the player approach and what the coach is going to tell you, because I coach my young players the same way, one game at a time, just one day at a time. But kind of being from this area for so long, can you wrap your head around maybe what that would feel like or what that would mean to bring another title home with such a storied program like the Cleveland Crunch has been in this town?
Yeah, it would mean everything. And that's why, the moment this team was assembled again, the expectation was winning titles. There's no, hey, let's just take it one game at a time. Hopefully we get a few wins there, a few wins here, this and that. We're going to get some pains, growing pains throughout the season. It was straight, the standard was set immediately. And it has everything to do with, the guys that have, put that jersey on before us. And, having them show up to our games and having, Hector come into our practices and talking to us and just, reminding us what it means to, wear that jersey and represent that patch. It really, gives us a boost of confidence and, just kind of reminds us as to, why we're doing this in the first place, representing, the city, the fans and, the players that played before us and sacrificed, all the blood, sweat and tears. So, I think, there's no approach for us other than, we got to win at all costs. We're not going to settle for, losing this weekend. Hopefully we become semifinalists, whatever. We need to come out on top. And that's the only mindset we're going to have going in.
And we are wishing you nothing but the luck next weekend. I mean, this show, Voice of the Land, is pulling for you guys, big connection with you guys, but also from a personal standpoint, I mean, growing up the same way you did, playing soccer for so long. I mean, I attended so many Crunch soccer camps. The team meant so much to the influence I have and the love and passion I have for the sport. And, there's a lot of that same passion here in town, even though soccer is not necessarily considered a big sport here in America, maybe considered more of a fringe sport. It always seems like Cleveland and Ohio in the soccer community always seems to show up. What has that energy been like in this revamped Cleveland Crunch organization and being a part of that from a player perspective and not just maybe from a fan that grew up watching them?
Oh, it's been great. From obviously I've been a part of a few teams out here locally, whether it was AFC Cleveland or Cleveland SC, now the Crunch. I guess the support alone has been tremendous because we didn't expect it, to be honest. We knew we were going to have our close friends, close family come into the game, but having the community that was once around, when the Crunch were here in the 90s, winning titles and everything, it's awesome to see the engagement that we're getting from outside sponsors and the fans and everybody's families that are coming. It's tremendous. And aside from what I mentioned earlier regarding the players that came before us and the standard we have, it's another reason to play for them as well, because we want to provide that entertainment for them and give them back everything that they provide for us throughout the games.
Well, the city of Cleveland is behind you. I know every Crunch fan anywhere may have moved away. They're all behind you, and we are behind you here at the Voice of the Land. We want to wish you nothing but luck. Of course, Mario Musa, we want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. Of course, you have the opportunity anytime you want. You can always jump on the show. We can always talk soccer anytime. But thank you so much for jumping on the show tonight and shedding some light on the Crunch organization and the path you guys are on for the quest for 4 next weekend in Wichita, Kansas.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the time.
Of course, that was Mario Musa, goalkeeper for your Cleveland Crunch. Next weekend, July 17th and 18th in Wichita, Kansas. The Cleveland Crunch will be on a quest for their 4th professional indoor soccer championship. And again, support coming from the Voice of the Land all across the city of Cleveland and Crunch fans everywhere out to the entire organization. Thank you so much for Mario for coming on the show. We are going to hit a break. On the other side, we are going to get back to our Baker Mayfield conversation. I know Paulus really wants to give Mike Tannenbaum a message he has been waiting for several days and or weeks. And like I said, an interesting perspective that I may bring to the conversation as well. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Land, part of the Big Play Sports Network and partner with LPV Productions. Kevin Arnold alongside Nick Paulus and Peter Tulp. And we want to thank Cleveland Crunch organization and, of course, Mario Musa, the goalkeeper for the Crunch, for coming on the show tonight. If you did miss that, you know where to find the audio, the show. Find it all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, even YouTube, Big Play Live, and Voice of the Land podcast. And, of course, you can always find that audio. As I know, our buddy Anthony is always asking us to post. If he doesn't get it right away, he is the first one to ask for the audio. And I know he is not the only one looking for it. you know where to go. I say it every single week, but I'll say it again because that's just what you do when you plug your show. Google, Spotify, Apple, hit the subscribe button. If there's a way to give us a review, why not get us with those 5 stars on Apple or however you can review us and let us know what you want to hear. What do you want to know from us moving forward too? There's things we haven't, talked about on the show and you really want us to talk about. There's a pressing issue. You want us to talk more soccer a little bit, maybe Euro 2020.
There you go.
Kevin's really pushing for that one.
Hey,
that's all right. Well,
they won in was it Italy won in a shootout today, right?
Yes.
Nice.
And it was interesting to kind of see a goalkeeper's perspective, not just from the approach, but also, there's a lot of talk. There's people in the soccer community, and more so, I think it comes from outside the soccer community. But I know that there's some people that feel this way, that PKs aren't the right way. Like you got to decide the game, and it's the same conversation in hockey. The shootouts, decide it in the run of play. Like,
what do you feel about it?
It's one of the harshest ways to end a game, but both teams are playing by the same rules.
Yeah,
I mean, sophomore year of high school, state championship. Down in, old Mafre Stadium that just, closed down. So, great to have a memory in that stadium down there. But, the week before the state semifinal, we win on PKs and it goes into extra time in the PKs, like sudden death, like our 7th PK taker.
Yeah.
I forget the team that we were playing, but their player missed. Like for the 6th kicker, you get 5, and then after that, it's just one at a time, whoever wins that round, sudden death. Well, we went 1-1, and then 7 PKs takers come up, and they miss. We were second in line. Justin Civaroli, senior that year, slots at home and exuberance. It's just the ultimate highest of highs. Very next week, we go and we play like the number 1 team in the state, getting word that after the game, of course, that parents going to the concession stands at halftime when we're 0-0, that, oh my gosh, you guys are the toughest team we've ever, we've played all year. Division III, Worthington Christian, powerhouse down there in the Columbus area in a private school. And, we go to PKs again after 2 rounds of extra time ourselves. And they ended up coming out on top. So the lowest of lows. Like it's harsh.
Yeah.
But it's been that way for so long. It's what I'm used to. And, the guys that missed for England today, and I even tweeted this out, and I know English fans are very, they have a lot of passion, just like Browns fans do. And we'll get to Baker Mayfield here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want anybody to come at these players, and especially these young players for England personally, as we have seen in the past.
Unfortunately,
that's
going to happen.
I know it's going to happen. I can just, at least voice, don't do it.
Of course. Yeah.
Those memories stick with you, but they should not define you. And especially for young players, there's a good young squad with England. They got some nice young talent.
Yeah.
Haven't won the big stage in a while, but a team to look out for next year in the World Cup if they're able to qualify for it. Because the next time that those youngsters come up, if they, are able to go through it properly, and, of course, it's going to take some time to process it, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. Just like Mario Musa and I talked about, taking advantage of those opportunities, even with the Indians, the youngsters coming up with the Indians.
Yeah.
Take advantage of your opportunity. And when mistakes happen, and at a crucial point that those mistakes happen, or you feel like you have let down an entire country and an entire team, whatever, again, it is one moment. It is not your life. It is not going to define you. So all the best out to those guys. But congratulations to Italy. They looked like from game one, they looked like a team of destiny, like the team to beat, the dominant team.
Right.
And they faced some adversity in the tournament, and England just sat back too much. Italy knew how to kind of keep their composure. That was a big word that Musa used in our interview. Composure from Italy beat out English youth and inexperience in a big moment, even though they were at home in Wembley Stadium. So, congrats out to Italy. See, snuck soccer in there somehow.
There you
gotta do it. Gotta do it. But of course, another, I guess, young squad with veterans as well, but a lot more youth on the team.
Different kind of football.
Different kind of football.
There we go.
The Browns and Baker Mayfield, polarizing figure as he always has been, and at times may have put himself in that position. Lately has seemed to mature and, is the leader of this team. But, guys like, I don't even want to say his name, but I'm going to, because this, again, professionalism.
You have to now.
Got to now. Colin Cowherd and now Mike Tannenbaum earning a living lately, bashing Baker Mayfield. Paulus, again, VTL reality check, voice of them reality check, voice of reason coming, or we got a rant coming?
So I want to go rant, but I'm going to try and hold off.
Okay.
That being said, it might turn into one. So
Hey,
I guess we're going to find out how this one goes. Yesterday on the Paul and Wild Colt show on RBS on 850 ESPN Cleveland, we're going back and forth with RBS. It's a whole thing right now. We're not going to get into that. But we did
No names, please.
No names, please. It is we did the Paul and Wild Colt award show yesterday. We handed out, like the MVP of the year, breakthrough athletes. It was because the ESPYs were on yesterday, and obviously we wanted to promote that, and you promote some of our Cleveland love as well. One of my favorite categories was the Hater of the Year award, which gotta love that. I gave the 4 options. I want to know what you think of the 4 options, and then we'll dive into why I'm bringing this up.
I got
you. Chase Claypool, obviously, for saying Browns are going to get clapped. Whatever.
Corvette.
Well,
took my TikTok back to off season.
Juju, Corvette. Yeah, obviously, Browns is the Browns. And then Colin Cowherd, once again, just being Colin Cowherd, which I haven't heard a lot from him lately. So as you can tell, like, he's not getting the national run here in Cleveland right now. So, like, I guarantee you, especially after maybe the UFC event, seeing Baker out, on that, seeing Baker on the match, maybe he'll probably come out. Yeah. He's going to come out with a take this week.
Who hates Mike Tannenbaum more, Browns fans or Colin Cowherd? Because his ratings are going down. He's not getting retweeted. He's stewing. He's got the little
the cauldron with the
hocus pocus cauldron rocking.
No doubt.
He's got I got this take and this take. Ooh, what's gonna get him? What's gonna get him?
The final one was Michael Tannenbaum.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Mike Tannenbaum, for those that don't know, was former GM of the Jets, picked Mark Sanchez. Former GM of the Dolphins. He didn't pick Ryan Tannehill, but I believe he traded Ryan Tannehill. To each their own.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Yeah.
want to do.
Whatever.
I voted for Tannenbaum. And once again, I want to bring up the award show because Colin Cowherd did win the award. Therefore, 44%, almost half the vote went to Colin. I get that. It was a full year and he had a lot of bad takes. Don't get me wrong. I went back and looked at a couple of them. They were pretty sketchy. The whole backwards hat thing. And then that same week, he said the reason why he was betting on the Steelers to beat the Browns that week, hat backwards. Good for you. I hope you lost all of your money.
Yeah, look at us now.
Backwards hat guys. Yeah. But I wanted to bring up Mike Tannenbaum because he's just starting to piss me off. He really is. He's doing a lot of things out there. He actually came on RBS and we got to talk to him and we asked him, can you win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield? He said, yeah, you can, but you got to have the right pieces and parts. And okay, a lot of people have said that. I'm okay with that. He also came out and said that you can't pay Baker A money when he's like a B quarterback. And like, I kind of have issue with that. Now, once again, if Patrick Mahomes is A+, the best of the best,
right,
and that's fair, where does Baker sort of rank in there? We're not doing a ranking tonight, but I'd probably say B+. He's not an A.
No,
he unfortunately, as it stands right now, he is not an A.
And that's a good thing.
And that's okay because he's only getting better.
Right.
Like he eventually will get there when
Right.
he wins us a Super Bowl, and he will win us a Super Bowl. I guarantee you his rating will jump up
Right.
so much. And in Cleveland, you go from a B+ to an A++. Like a no doubter. We're building you the statue, even though you're 27 years old. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're renaming streets down.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield way 1, 2, 3. Like it doesn't even matter. Like Baker's getting everything. But once again, Michael Tannenbaum said this on Get Up. He said, I would wait several years, and here's why. You are binding yourself to mediocrity. Is mediocrity doing things that we haven't seen since Dan Marino? No. We haven't seen a quarterback go 11,000 yards, have an 89 quarterback ranking since Dan Marino in his first 3 years. That doesn't happen. It's never happened since Marino did it in 86, whenever it was. Calm down, Michael Tannenbaum. I know everyone calls him Mike. I'm going to call him Michael because I feel like we need to bring this down to like a father-son sort of thing. Like,
Right.
son, you screwed up.
Yep.
You messed up, Michael. And then he had the audacity to say that Baker was not a top 5 AFC quarterback. I'm okay with that, but 8th? Okay, let me give you the quarterbacks that he has above him. Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Deal. Josh Allen.
Yes.
Yes, right now.
Right now. Yep.
Ryan Tannehill as number 3. The guy he traded, number 3. Fair. It's sketchy. Ryan Tannehill is not number 3 on the
right.
Should not be a number 3 quarterback in the AFC. That's not it. That ain't it, fam. Okay. But Ryan Tannehill, Justin Herbert, dude, we've seen one season. And with that one season, you want to, start talking. And I'm glad I saved this because this is what I do. I just look at random stats and I save them. And Justin Herbert here for us in the fourth quarter, the money quarter that everyone talks about. Justin Herbert of the Chargers, 65% completions. Solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Only 4 touchdowns in the, I think it was 13 or 14 games he played. Only 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter with 4 interceptions and 81 quarterback ranking. In the fourth quarter with 7 minutes, between 7 points of the lead here for us, he had 69% completion. That is solid.
Yeah, it is.
Like no doubt. But 1 touchdown to 4 interceptions. That means you are losing that game. It just is. Okay.
Yeah.
And he had a 6-9 record there for
What can't you do as a quarterback? give the ball away.
Absolutely. Now, Baker's rookie year, because obviously I could say this past year and you're going to
Right.
be like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Right.
But Baker's rookie year, he had 7 touchdowns, 64% completions. Okay. 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 91 quarterback ranking. This past year, 56% completion. Not great. Okay. In the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's pretty solid.
Efficient.
91 quarterback ranking. Okay. This is the stat that's going to get you. In the fourth quarter, within 7 points, Baker had a 62% completion
Right around where he
percentage,
is naturally.
5 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. That, sir, is a
Bingo.
127 quarterback ranking.
Yeah.
Okay. That is top 3. I'm sorry. That is top 3 quarterback in the AFC sort of stuff. And once again, he has Herbert. He has Lamar Jackson at 5. Lamar won an MVP. Okay. Joe Burrow didn't even finish the year. Joe Burrow, Peter's over here looking at me like I love crazy.
I love Joe Burrow.
He doesn't know.
I think Joe Burrow is a stud. I think Joe Burrow will win an MVP eventually because he's that type of talent.
Right. If Cincinnati ever gets a line.
If they get and they keep drafting other like they drafted Jamar Chase, which mind you is going to be a top 10 wide receiver. That dude's special. But you got to be able to block somebody.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow might die behind that line. It just might happen. Unfortunately, I pray for him. I pray for Joe Burrow every night. And I'm a Browns fan. Like, I don't want to see that sort of talent get wasted. And it's going to get wasted in Cincinnati. And then he has Carson Wentz.
Wasn't Carson Wentz like the worst quarterback in football last year or something?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure we're talking about the same Carson Wentz.
Michael Tannenbaum then, once again said, I like Baker. I worked him out in the 2018 draft. I was really surprised by how good his intangibles were. We made the same decision when we were with the New York Jets. We had a good quarterback in Chad Pennington. We chased a great quarterback in Brett Favre, and because we wanted to win a championship.
But you didn't.
You didn't. You went 9-7. You didn't make the playoffs. And Chad Pennington then went down to Miami, won comeback player of the year, and took his team to the playoffs and whooped your ass on a consistent basis. Chad Pennington, that B mediocre quarterback that you're talking about, whooped Brett Favre's ass. Sorry, it just happened. Okay. You don't know how to check out talent. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
He's a bum-ass GM, a bum-ass, old-ass GM that is sitting behind a desk now on TV because he can't do the job that he was, trying to do. It bothers me to know that he is on ESPN National, TV, radio, and getting these sort of opportunities whenever other guys much more qualified and much more deserving are not getting those opportunities. It bothers me. Like, I understand you were a GM for the Dolphins and the Jets, and you didn't do, almost dropped a D. You didn't do anything with the talent that was around you. I'm sorry. Like, you just need to calm down. You need to we got to move on. We got to move on. But once again, Michael Tannenbaum just needs to stop talking about the Browns. Like, he just has to, because at this point in time, it is a detriment to his own doing that whenever Baker does show up this year and the Browns do go 11-6,
right?
12-5, whatever it is, and they win the division, he's going to look like a freaking idiot. And he just needs to stop himself before he does too much damage to his already terrible career on TV.
And your VTL pod, VTL_pod moment, or I guess voice of reason. I forget what we used to call it. I don't even know. Reality check.
The reality check. There we go.
When Paula said, I almost dropped the, it threw me off so much. But your reality check, not sponsored yet on the show. It can be, but it is the part of the theme that is sponsored by Vector Technical, the right person, the right job, the first time, and DP Construction LLC, your everything need construction group. Oh, I'm sorry, Tyler. Reach out to them for all your concrete construction needs is what I'm going to say. Words are hard, but oh so fun. Moving on. You're right. Michael Tannenbaum doesn't really know what he's talking about. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I tweeted, and it was very LeBron-esque, very cryptic.
Mhm.
Tweeted about, I'm on Twitter and doing this sort of attempt at a career for the real conversations. Like, you and I disagreed a little bit about the Indians. Real conversation, understanding the perspective of the other, and getting to the heart of what is really going on. That is what I grew up listening to. Actual sports conversations, not everybody yelling into a mic and just having the hottest take every single time and just trying to troll everybody. Michael Tannenbaum was not a good GM, wasn't a good front office executive. Thus why he has the opportunity to even be hired by ESPN, but he can't even troll right. Browns fans, don't let Michael Tannenbaum and people like him be a detriment to you. Now, Paulus and myself, trying to get in the industry and being in the industry, we have to listen to these things, unfortunately, and keep tabs on what people are saying. The less you retweet it and give credence to it for other people to see and keep sharing it, the less these people get noticed and keep getting likes and being brought back on television or on airwaves to say stupid stuff. It's one thing to have an opinion, and we can all have opinions. They're going to differ. We can have conversations about them.
No doubt.
But when you just hammer it home, but you are, at least Colin Cowherd is pretty educated when he speaks. So there's a lot of education coming from it.
Well,
sometimes the analogies, the metaphors, way out there, and what he's saying is still stupid. But when you want to hammer a point home and you come out and you show that you're not well educated on it, and now you're just saying stupid things that even your own network people that may have had some negative conversations about Baker Mayfield in the past have to call you out on, you just need to stop. Get up, first take, whatever. Notice to all ESPN people, maybe stop having Michael Tannenbaum on.
The only reason why Tannenbaum's even on that program is because he was the former GM of the Jets, and Greeny's favorite team is what? The Jets. That is the only reason why he is on there. This is the only reason why he's employed with the mothership. It bothers the hell out of me that guys like this are saying bigger quarterbacks win more consistently. I'm not saying Baker can't win like Drew or Russell, but over the next 10 years, Cleveland is putting themselves at a disadvantage by having Baker Mayfield as their quarterback. Shut your freaking pie hole, Michael Tannenbaum. I am done with you. Just donezo with you.
Shut up, Tannenbaum. And Browns, keep listening to Kevin Stefanski. Go put in your work. Get better every single day and earn the right to prove these people wrong by how you play on the field and not by what you say in a press conference or on social media. Be better than Michael Tannenbaum. And that is a message from us here at the Voice of the Land.
It's not tough to do.
Not tough to do at all. Now, we do have one more commercial we need to get in, but we're kind of right up against time. And I know
we got a little bit. Yeah,
we got a little bit. So we're going to hit one quick commercial break and one quick segment to finish out the show. You are tuned in to the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that is partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Can you still see me? Good. One final segment here on the Voice of the Land. It's been an interesting evening for sure, but of course, another thank you out to the Cleveland Crunch and Mario Musa for coming on the program this evening. And of course, we've gotten some Indians conversations, some Browns conversations. Speaking of the Browns, they were well represented last night at UFC. What number was it?
264.
264 with the main card, and big fight being, of course, Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3, ending in the first round with Conor McGregor breaking his ankle.
Snapping like a twig. That was nasty.
Yeah.
Watched it live. It was it was something.
It's something for sure. But of course, the Odell Beckham Jr. was there as well. So Browns players well represented, but also with great seats at the event. Odell Beckham Jr. I even saw him on the sideline of the Suns Bucks game 2. So these are sort of bucket list type events for sports
No
fans,
doubt.
especially of the certain sport. NBA Finals, sitting courtside, that's kind of a, even some average fans, sports fan dream. We want to know from all of you, and you guys can reach out to us throughout the week at Kevin and7, at CLE_Paulus, at LPV Productions. What sporting event would you want to go to, and what said celebrity or athlete? Because I believe it was Chuck Liddell who was next to Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
There was
It was in between Baker and Emily. For some reason,
Yeah.
Baker wasn't sitting with Emily. That was a weird sort of.
yeah, it was,
I got to know, what
yeah.
happened there. But
to each their own.
Right, no, absolutely.
That's what they got to deal with.
Baker probably wanted to be like, "Hey, Chuck, how's it going, man?
Yeah.
Tell me all about this.
Yeah.
How do you put someone in a guillotine? Like, yeah,
Look at my silk shirt. I don't
right.
know.
That shirt was better than the
Yeah,
one he
yeah.
had at the match.
It
I'll
was.
give him that. The match kind of looked
Right.
like a bathrobe
Yeah.
is what Chuck described it as. It was pretty good though. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, but of course you saw some like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia star. Like there's a bunch of stars.
Jon
out there.
Snow.
Jon Snow
Did you
was
see
out there.
Jon Snow got bumped, was behind them, I think. So yeah, it was
better seats than Jon Snow. So you Game of Thrones fans, you see where the Browns are at right now.
you didn't screw up that last season, you
Yeah.
probably would have had that
Yeah,
front row
right.
seat.
I know nothing.
Where was Bran?
Right. Come on, yeah, don't even get me started on that.
They're speaking French to me. So reach out to us and let us know what sporting event you would want to go to and who you'd want to be sitting next to as we transition. Paulus, your answer quickly as we kind of wrap things up here this evening.
So I've only been to one UFC event. It wasn't like technically UFC, but it was like cage fighting match. It was a lot of fun. It was at like the MGM,
okay.
out there in Northfield there for it, and Northfield Park, yeah. And they had like a UFC fight night sort of event out there, and it was a lot of fun.
Was it Fight Club?
It basically was. It kind of was. But it was one of the funnest events that I've ever been to. You obviously go to Browns games all the time, everything like that. But going to one event and you want to bring a celeb or someone along the lines of that, I'm gonna take it a little different direction here for us. I'd want to go back to a UFC main event. So like the Conor McGregor, that fight would have been awesome to
UFC
go to.
260, 270, like
yeah,
that.
270, whatever's coming up next, for as their main one, therefore, 265, whatever. I would love to be able to go to that. It doesn't matter who's in the match, anything like that, but I'd want to bring the Packers tackle, David Bakhtiari. That dude straight up chugs beer the entire time. He gets on the Jumbotron all the time, is down in beer the entire time. He looks like he'd be a lot of fun to party with. So like, I'm going to take it a little out there for it, not picking a Cleveland guy. I could pick a Cleveland guy. Baker be fun to go with. Odell probably be a lot of fun with, but David Bakhtiari looks like he has a hell of a time, especially at the Bucks game.
Yeah.
They always show him on the TV. He's chugging like 4 different ones at the same time. He looks like he's having a good time. So I'd go David Bakhtiari at a UFC fight event.
Okay.
Be awesome.
I like that one. Peter?
That's interesting because I kind of struggle with this because I'm like, what first of all, what sporting event would I really like to be at? Obviously, like a Super Bowl,
sure,
or World Series game. I've never actually gotten to go to an Indians World Series game,
right?
But the problem with the Super Bowl is, because I would think Baker Mayfield would be a lot of fun to party with because after he shotgunned that beer, at the Indians game,
Baker probably be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. It's really hard for me to decide like that, but I think going to like a Game 7 Indians, hanging out with Baker, that'd be a lot of fun.
So just before you take over, like
You guys already know where I'm going.
I don't want to be too emotionally invested into something. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like, I just want to go there and have fun. Like if it's the event that I want to go, I would be scared out of my mind if I went to an Indians Game 7 or the Super Bowl, like I wouldn't sit down. I would be in a panic unless you told me the Browns were up by 40, going into halftime. I'd be like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But like aside from that, I would be freaking out the entire time. So I wanted to be chill, fun. Like UFC gets out there and people just start decking each other. I'm like, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like that's me though.
I mean, I would love to say, because being the basketball fan I am, courtside in an NBA Finals game, like being the sporting event I would want to go to, and having one of my heroes in basketball sit next to me, like Magic Johnson, or even, I mean, I know, unfortunately, the late Pistol Pete Maravich, somebody that one of the highlight saves my dad ingrained in me, like how to actually move the ball and like ball skill, dribbling skills, those types of things. One of those guys a lot of people looked up to. But you know where I'm going. I've infused as much soccer as I can. I'm going to infuse a little bit more. A World Cup final, or even like a World Cup game, and having David Beckham sitting next to me, or maybe
now Posh isn't allowed to be there.
Is it Posh?
It is Posh. Yeah, he's married to Posh, right?
Okay, yeah, Victoria. Yeah, I don't.
Yes,
I forget all their names. I know.
Honestly, the only one I know is Posh. I know like Baby, but I don't know her name.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But hold on, let me try this. There's 5 of them, right?
Correct.
Okay. Posh, Baby, Scary, Sporty, Ginger. I knew it. I got it.
Yeah, Ginger. Yeah.
There we go. My wife is over there like laughing hysterically right now because I guarantee you, she's like, you probably know this. Like, I have 3 sisters, grew up, like, come on. Like, obviously I knew the Spice Girls. So
I mean, I knew more of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. My sister actually never really listened to the Spice Girls.
Okay.
So I only
Backstreet was where it was at for me. Yeah, but once again, 3 sisters. Backstreet was them, O-Town.
98 Degrees.
98 Degrees. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Peter's over here like, come on, guys.
So like, I guess if I could be like Chuck Liddell, sitting between David Beckham and Posh Spice, I guess, at a World Cup final. There you go. That'd be the way to go. But
you're the Chuck Liddell in this situation. That's awesome.
I mean, I guess I got a big head. I don't know.
I saw someone post, they were like, oh, look, Baker's sitting next to Stone Cold. I about died.
Oh,
I was dying. I was like, that's Chuck.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, well, all I can see there is who's ever saying that. All I can see is Stone Cold coming through and just walking down the aisle, walking down that ramp. You hear that glass break, and oh man,
oh yeah,
give me a beer. I drank a beer. I drank another beer. What? 3 beers. What? 4 beers. What?
5 beers. Oh yeah, no.
God, those were the days too. Those were the days too. I guess. On that note, I guess like WrestleMania too, with like Stone Cold or The Rock, something like that.
That'd be cool.
But like World Cup finals, like in the future when they're retired, and shout out to Mario Musa on this one, Luka Modric of Croatia. Yeah. And he plays for Real Madrid as a club team, or even Lionel Messi, 2 guys I've looked up to. And I feel like play the game the right way. They don't always score.
Mm-hmm.
Messi a little bit more than Modric, but guys that their IQ is so high, I would love to pick their brain about the sport.
Sure, yeah.
And like they're gonna forget so much more about soccer than I will ever know, and I'm totally okay with that. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about a lot.
A little bit.
But that is going to wrap it up for this mega edition of The Voice of the Land. Thank you again to Mario Musa for joining the show. Good luck to the Cleveland Crunch out in Wichita, Kansas. Let's bring home that 4th championship as an organization. And thank you, of course, to Peter Tellep, our producer extraordinaire behind that proverbial glass, for all he does to get things going for us, even with the technical difficulties. We are never out of realm of having a show because of the capable hands and the miraculous hands of Peter Tellep. For Nick Paulus, of course, and Peter Tellep, I am Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you sports fans out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. And we love you all 3,000. We will see you all next week.